Hey everyone, today is going to be a very simple video about is how much is worth renting out. Now please do bear in mind that obviously I cannot give legal advice exactly how much your properties are worth renting out, because that sort of decision is basically up to you, and obviously there is websites out there that are pretty much designed to give you advice, especially how much is your property worth renting out. And obviously, from my sort of knowledge, but like I said, I cannot give you legal advice on how much you should charge to rent out a property. But it depends on what sort of property it is you're renting out, and depends on location, and is it furbished or is it not furbished. So if, say for instance, I got a 2-bedroom flat in a central of London, pretty expensive, but if you think about that sort of place is designed for the rich and wealthy. So you could charge your monthly rent anything from £400 all the way to a cranking about, say, like £2,000, because obviously London's been an expensive place, especially in the UK. But also with London is that it's like the heart of the UK. It's like a central tourist attraction, and if your property is in a particular location where it's near hospitals, schools, workplaces, shopping centres, if you feed all the basic needs that a particular person would need, then you can just try and work out like a price that you think it's worth the money. But also, the other thing too, actually, from my knowledge, is that should I have this thing furbished or shouldn't I have it furbished? On my personal opinion, I would recommend having your properties furbished, and the reason being is that no person who's renting out your property wants to having to buy it if they're only renting off you for a few days or even a couple of months, if that. So like, I don't know, if I say like a tourist or family member was moving down London, to stay with family or friends, they're not going to rent out a room from a hotel, because a hotel is more expensive. And obviously there's restrictions with a hotel, where having their own property, especially a flat or a house or a condo, anything, like that, is what people want. So, like I said, people, there is websites out there, and there is people out there who can guide you on how much is your property worth renting out, especially on a monthly basis. Now, bear in mind, obviously, with my marketplace, I do allow any sort of property to be listed, regardless if you're renting out a bungalow, a semi-detached, a flat, anything like that. Anything you can imagine, I'll allow it. And obviously, you can set exactly how long the term, like I said on a previous video, you can set exactly how long you want this rental to last, what's a rental, because when it comes to people, especially who rent out properties, don't want people saying, oh yeah, I'm going to rent your 1-bedroom flat, for example, for 1 day. Why would you do that when there's potential clients out there who really want to stay in that particular area for as long as possible until they have the funds to actually buy the property off you? Because there's no good way around it. Like, my rental place is it's non-contract basis, between the property owner and the client. So basically, the client will choose how long they want to stay. They'll pay you. You get paid to your bank account. And then, if you can build some sort of good relation, I don't know. Let's say, for instance, if there's no damage made, and obviously you see some sort of trust, like, yeah, you know, there's no damage made, I'm happy, I would recommend this client. And by doing that to people, you're like building that relationship between you as the property owner, the client, into my rental marketplace. And then also that's going to show up on Google a lot more. It's going to build up trust, which I'm trying to build. And also I will be linking certain websites and guides and some videos that I will just try and research for you people and try and determine which of these ones are most suitable to give you an insight exactly how much you should charge. Now bear in mind, you don't have to say, yeah, you should charge this much, or yeah, you should charge that much, or no, that's too expensive, or no, that's just too cheap, you should raise a bit more, or you should put a bit less. That's about how much you want to charge. It's entirely up to you. It's your property, but if you think you're unsure about how much to charge, there is advice out there, people who would help you. You don't have to pay a professional all this money. When there's like free websites out there who can guide you. Ask around, ask the community. Like visit websites like Zoopla or Rightmove. Any sort of sites like that where this is how much the rent is for this particular house. So if your house was in a good location, like I said about London, and it's furnished and it's got all the basic amenities that people need, try and go on some of these websites, search for and try and cipher exactly, like narrow down from the lowest or narrow down from the highest and work your way down to lowest. And if you think like, that's too cheap, but also yeah, they've got the same amenities, but then again, what's to go by? Is it more spacious or what? But people don't want to pay something that's too cheap, because also think, what's the catch? Where if you can just rent it out where it's in the centre balance, people, you're bound to make more money. And this is how this sort of rental marketplace seems to be working. And also this is why another thing why I've invented margin rental was designed for landlords or private landlords where they've got properties to rent even as abroad. Let's say you got properties in the UK, properties in France, properties in Canada. People, whatever sort of property in any part of the globe, you can list it on this site. There's no restrictions on how exactly whereabouts your location is. Just remember, this is another reason why I made this site, to give you the flexibility of allowing you to actually expose your property and get more potential clients and more investors. And obviously, people, like I said, if you've got any questions, then by all means, let me know in the comments or send me an email at info@mydreamrental.co.uk. Thanks for this one, and goodbye.